Good evening, my wonderful people. Good evening. How are you doing? I trust you're doing fine. You are welcome. Welcome to another edition of Discovery Time. You are all welcome. How are you doing? We are live. Don't miss out. Yes, Ify. Good evening, my dear. Nice to see you. I am fine. I am fine. Thank you so much. How are you doing? Good evening, Joy. You are welcome, my dear. How are you doing? Awesome. Awesome. You're welcome. I am fine. Thank you. I am fine. It's just that the cold is dealing with us. It's snowing. So, we are dealing with the cold, and the cold is dealing with us. But we are fine. All right. Thank you all so much for tuning in. You are all welcome. Welcome to another edition of Discovery Time. Please help us do what we do best. Help us call in the Calvary. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you. I appreciate your support. I appreciate um, your engagement. Engaging with us and all that you guys do. I I really, really appreciate you. Thank you. My day has been fine so far. It's been it's been a day with a lot of thinking. But it's good. It's good. Once in a while, we need it. We need to think, pause, and think, and restructure some things as we are learning. So it has been awesome. Thank you so much. And how is the teaching going? How are the students? I hope they are behaving. Don't mind me, I'm just trying to experiment with some things. They've added new features to the program that I'm using, and I'm just kind of like playing around with some of them to see the effect. So if you see any changes, don't worry. I'm just playing around here. All right. Just want to see which background is best since they've changed some things. Let me go for this. All right. Please help us do what we do best. Thank you so much, Blessing. Good evening. Thanks for joining. How are you doing? Thank you. Help us to do what we do best, my dear people. Help us to call in um, the troops. We are live, we are on, and we are still on the topic of dependability. Dependability. We are still on that topic because it has a lot of layers, and we are just seeing a few. We are just seeing a few attributes of dependability. I'm doing fine, Benjamin. Thank you so much. And you? Thank you so much for tuning in. All right. I just hope that you guys are really, taking something home, like getting something out of all the topics we've been doing. Next month, I'll try to do some um, recap on some of the topics we've dealt so far, and so that we don't forget them. And then, yeah, I'll see what the next year topic will be. We'll see. By the grace of God, we'll see. But so um, we are still on for this month dependability. And we've already seen a few attributes, right? We've seen the attributes of Being reliable, the importance of reliable. We dealt with it last week. And then you know, you should not expect too much from people when it comes to reliability. Good evening, Chiamaka. How are you doing? You're welcome. My daughter's namesake. You're welcome. God bless you, ma. Thank you. Um, so we should not, you cannot depend on, or you cannot, it's actually wrong to rely on everyone the same way that, um, on every aspect. You can't and you should not demand that from people. We are doing fine. We are doing fine by the grace of God. We are doing fine. Thank you so much. Um, I was just saying that the cold has really, come. So we are battling with it. We are battling with it, and the cold is dealing with us as well. And how are you and the family? All right. So we've seen some cases of um, dependability. We've seen attributes. We've seen some attributes. So we've seen what that we have to be trustworthy. We have to be honest because that's part of being trustworthy, and also reliable. But last week, I tried to make us to understand that there are some certain things you can rely on someone for, but you can't expect the person to be reliable all round, because we all have our flaws, we all have our weaknesses. So when we have that in mind, um, we will be less disappointed. And then you also not easily say, I can't trust this person. And that trust is actually like the foundation. Trust is the foundation that we need to have. Um, Trust is only broken. You can only say, oh, this person broke my trust, if trust was there in the first place. So trust should and must be the foundation. Good evening, Rita. You are welcome. How are you doing? Nice to see you. Good evening, Usman. Thanks for tuning in again. You are welcome. How are you all doing? Amen. Thank you. Thank you, Usman. Amen. Yes. So we should not um, depend on or rely on one person for everything. I am doing fine, Usman. Thank you so much. Good evening, patients. You're welcome. How are you doing? How is the family? Oh, thank you so much, dear. Thank you. So we are still dealing on the topic dependability. And like every topic that I bring, it has a lot of layers. Good evening, Fidelia. You're welcome. How are you doing? Amen. Thank you, Usman. You are all welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate and value you all. God bless you. So I'm just giving a recap of what we saw last week so that we can continue with where we stopped. Thank you so much, patience. So um, I was talking about last week that I said you can't depend on one person for everything. You can't rely that a person will be good in everything that you want them to be good in or that you expect. And then sometimes we need to adjust our expectations. We need to adjust our expectations to what the person can do, to the strength of the other person, not what we think they should do, but to their strength. And by so doing, we will be less disappointed. And so we will not easily say that our trust has been broken. Why? You were not expecting some certain things in the first place. Now, having said that, I don't mean that we should lower our standard. You should have a standard by which you live by, and you want anyone that is around you to also be at that standard. But don't make the mistake of um, wanting something. Don't make the mistake of you know trying to put how you do things or how you see things on that other person, because you might miss out. Like I said, we are not perfect. Good evening, patience. Nice to see you. How are you doing? I'm doing fine by His grace. Awesome. You're welcome. Good evening. It's been a while. Good evening, Linda. You're welcome. You're all welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. You're all welcome. So you should not expect. You should actually not do that. If you do that, you actually um, it's wrong. It's a wrong. It's from a wrong expectation. It's from a wrong um, how do I call it? You cannot say, well, I'm expecting this from this person if you haven't actually seen that person do that before, or if you have not trained that person, like carry that person along to see things the way you see things to your standard. If you have not done that, you shouldn't expect that person to have that. I gave the example of you know if you're a leader at a workplace, and you are expecting something from your employee, whereas you've not trained the employee to be doing all those things, but you're expecting them to do that. It's not possible. You need to first train them, or at least carry them to come to the level of standard that you want, and then you can be expected some certain things. But while you've not done that, please don't expect that, and try to appreciate them in their strength. Now, having said that, we can all work on our weaknesses, but you can only work on your weaknesses if also your strength is confirmed and your strength is valued. But if all that you do, it's kind of like it's not good enough, and you are not doing it the way that I want, you are getting that kind of feedback, it will discourage you. So we need to learn to appreciate the other in their strength. And that's where you start from. You appreciate them in their strength, and you can rely on them on their strength. You can rely on them. And the other side, where they are weak, you try to help them to become stronger in that area. When we go about things like this in every relationship, be it work, be it husband, wife, be it parents, children, if you approach your relationship in this manner, it will reduce the level of wrong expectations, and therefore also getting the wrong conclusion or making the wrong conclusion. It will reduce that. So when we are talking about reliability, what I wanted to establish and what I still want to establish is people are reliable in their strengths. They are reliable in the area that they are strong in. Don't try to push your expectations on others while you cannot live up to their expectation as well. You should not do that. We are there to help each other. We are there to complement each other. So while the other might be strong in A, B, other things, you are strong in other things. Good evening, Pat. You're welcome. How are you doing? you know you are also strong in other things. And those are the areas that you need to focus on while you help each other in the weaknesses, in the areas that you are not strong, in the areas that you need to be carried along. You know, good evening, Bisola. How are you doing? You are welcome. How is the family? You're all welcome. So please, to avoid any wrong expectations and also to avoid getting hurt very fast and easily, don't expect things from others that, first of all, you yourself you can't do or you are not to them. Secondly, don't expect them um, to be dependable in the areas that they are weak. So we should have that, all the time in all our relationships. Good evening, Perpetual. You're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome. How are you doing? So once you are, when you have that in mind, you kind of like, you'll find it easy to move along with people. You'll also find it easy to be more appreciative because you will now realize, oh, okay, I cannot depend on, like I use my friend as an example. I couldn't depend on her when it comes to cooking. And I did not make a big deal out of it. Why? Because that was just not his strength. So I can maybe say, oh, but why doesn't she cook all this and, spoil our relationship because I'm so focused on something that I find so important. And so I feel like she has to be doing it. But in other areas, she was strong and she brought value in those areas. So I learned to appreciate her in those areas, and that's how I go about with in relationship. I appreciate people in the areas that they are strong and where they bring value, where they add value to me. The cooking part, no problem, I can do it. You get me? It's something that I love to do. I'll do it. No, even if I have to carry it with me to come, no problem. There are other, in other areas, they are adding value. And I know I can rely on them on those areas. And so those are the things that I think we really need to um, be mindful of when it comes to dependability, when we are trying to define how reliable is this person. If that person, if you can vouch and say, oh, this person in this area is reliable, that's in that area. That's in that area. And I can rely on this person that if I say, let's meet here at this hour, that this person is going to be on time. Punctuality is like that person's strength. Well, that's the area that I know I can vouch for that person. I can rely on that person to be on time, to be there. So punctuality and presence is the strength of that person. Don't rely on that person to carry heavy loads. They don't have the strength for it. So once you have that in mind, you see that your move with people and even you yourself, how you approach people will be a bit different. And also how we approach dependability will be a bit different. Another aspect we dealt with honesty, which is very important. We dealt with trustworthy, which all falls underneath that. And again, I'm repeating, trust is the foundation. You must start with trust. And so once trust is there, you build your relationship based on trust. And the trust can only be broken if there was trust in the first place, right? So if you say, oh, my trust is broken, then it actually says that there was trust in the first place. So the foundation is trust, which deepens more and more the longer that you get to know each other and you build your relationship. But there must be a minimum of trust to be able to build a relationship or start in the first place. You can't be around someone you don't trust. Then there's no need. You can't feel comfortable around someone you don't trust. So you cannot also build a relationship with that person. So for you to actually be in a relationship, whatsoever kind of relationship, it means there is a minimum of trust. And along the way, you build it up while you get to know each other with the testing a little bit like, okay, if I give this person this amount of money, am I going to receive it back, or am I going to see it, or what's going to happen? Or not even money, but the little things. How truthful is this person? So, and then we also said if you have all this, it makes someone what? Predictable. That's what dependability does. You can predict someone. Like the example I gave about punctuality. You know this person is reliable on this area. So you can also predict that person. You can predict that this person will be on time. It makes you predictable. And so being predictable in those areas is not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. You know, um, Sometimes you have people like, oh, yeah, I don't want to be that predictable. Well, it's a different kind of predictability. But when it comes to character, your character should not be such that it's like water. When there is a rock somewhere, it changes to, um, depending on the weather, you have different character. Depending on the season, you have different character. Depending on the set of people you are with, you have different character. It shouldn't be like that. Good evening, Philip. How are you doing? You're welcome. Thanks for joining. I'm doing fine. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You're welcome. It shouldn't be like that. But the aspect of surprising people, the aspect of that is a different thing. That is just completely different. If you don't want to have like, oh, I don't want them to know my routine, I wake up this morning and so on and so forth, that is a different thing altogether. But your character, what makes you you, must be predictable. Good evening, Ome. You are welcome. You are welcome. God bless you. Yeah, I'm sorry. I hope you can still follow despite the bad network. Good evening, Hope. You're welcome. How are you doing? You're all welcome. So, your character should make you what? Predictable. If your character is very, very, then they can't say we can rely on this person, because you have some people like that. Oh, I don't know if this person will show up. I can't say, because sometimes, yeah, she will just show up. Sometimes, I can't say. If that is your character, it makes you less predictable and also less reliable, and therefore less dependable. And then you have an issue. So when we are talking about predictability, it's not that we can know your schedule and all that, but it's basically that what is your character telling people? What can we say about you based on your character? And therefore, if I'm recommending you for something, what is there that I can say? And because I know it is in you, I can predict that it's going to just continue, like it's going to be there. That is the predictability that I'm talking about. So we also saw last week commitment. A dependable person is a committed person. Is someone that is committed to their vision, is someone that is committed to the relationship, is someone that is committed to whatever they are doing. If you're not committed, you can't you can't be reliable. If you're not committed, you can't be honest. So all these attributes have, they intertwine, they go hand in hand. You cannot say I am committed to um let me take work for example. Because sometimes most of us we kind of like, oh, it's not my father's job, it's not my father's office or whatsoever. So we do things anyhow. For example, you are working for someone and you have to start by 8. Either you go by 10 without informing. The person is actually counting on you to open 8 o'clock, and you just go 10 because that's the time that fits you, and you do the work anyhow. You are not committed to the work per se. You are not committed to what has been entrusted to you. So you do things anyhow. It doesn't make you dependable. So if the person sack you, he or she has every right to sack you. Why? Because you are not showing any commitment. You come up anytime you want, you go early enough, you put more attention to other things outside of that particular one that you're supposed to put attention to. And so you realize that whatever you are, they say where the man's treasure is, or where a person's treasure is, both man and woman, where a person's treasure is, that's where their heart is going to be. And so you are committed to those things that your heart is, where your treasure is. Those are the things that you're committed to. So if you are doing things anyhow, it means you're not committed. You're not a committed person, and therefore not reliable. Not reliable. And once those things are seen in you, please, if it is a relationship you are in, whatever relationship, be it, husband, wife, be it boyfriend, girlfriend, be whatever relationship, if you realize that the person you are in that relationship with, or that are around you, are not committed to making something together, doing something together, then you need to realize that you can't not rely on them, because their hearts may be somewhere else, maybe in other things that they have found, or maybe not yet found, where they will be committed. But once you are there, is it at your workplace? You are seeing that someone is not committed to what they're doing, their heart is not there. You cannot rely on them. That is already should be already like red flags in the person's character, because people are committed to the things that are important to them. People are committed to the things that they see value in. And so if they are not bringing that on the table, then it means they are just not committed. They cannot be reliable or trusted to the level that you want to trust them. So those are the areas you can see. Even you yourself, when you're pointing fingers, realize there are three pointing back at you. So you yourself also check yourself. How reliable are you, or how committed are you to something? And then you can also know where and where to work on. If you're not committed to it, why are you not committed to it? What is it that's making you not to be committed? Once you find your why, you'll be able to know your how. If you know why you are not committed, you know how, or what to do to go out, to go about it. Um, it will help us. Now, this evening, I want to also talk about other attributes that makes a person dependable. Excuse me. Um, Other attributes like consistency. When someone, now consistency, committed, all of them go hand in hand. All of them, when someone is, you know, constantly doing some certain things that you have um, more than once said, I don't like this, or they are doing things that um, they are so consistent in whatsoever they are doing in a positive way. It helps. It helps to, for you to say, oh, I can depend on this person because this person is really consistent, Come rain, come shine, come whatever weather, they are there. They will not give an excuse that it is raining heavily and stay home. They will not give an excuse that because of A, B, and Z, they are really consistent in whatever they are doing. You can trust them. They are dependable. But in that same consistency, if they show lack of consistency, then again, know that there is no commitment. And therefore, no, you can't rely on them. And therefore, not dependable. So if you watch the behavior of someone, you can actually know. If consistency is not there, then it makes them less dependable. Good evening, Destiny. You're welcome. How are you doing? It makes them less dependable. So those are the things that we can check and within ourselves. Are you doing something and how consistent are you? Water always finds a way. When a water, when you have a place and water is dripping at a particular place, due to the consistency, due to the consistency of the water hitting that place over and over and over again, a way is made. Before you know it, there is a hole in your roof. It's not from one day water, it's not from one day rain, it's not from, but because there's been a consistent dripping of water at that area, it causes what? It makes a way. That's what consistency does. It will build you up, it will make a way. Where initially there was no way, it will make a way. So by being consistent at one thing and at one place, even though you might not see the result immediately, you might not, one thing about us nowadays is that we want everything fast, fast. We want sharp, sharp. It must move. If it's not moving, then it's not good. But that's so wrong. It's a wrong approach. We need to be consistent in the things that we are doing, and with that, be patient. Be patient and just continue. Be committed to it and continue. And one day, a way will be made. One day, like the water finds a way. One day, that way will be made. But rushing things, for example, you are going into a business and without, you just don't want to wait. You just want in a year to like blow up again because of lack of foresight. We go into things without making proper planning, without preparing, and without realizing that your first year in business, first 2 years, you should actually count it lost. So your first 2 years, you have to invest. You are investing in it. You are, being consistent in what you are doing and improving in the things that you need to, in the areas that you need to improve on, so that you can make headways. But you need to be patient. You need to put in the work. You need to be committed. You need to be consistent. And then a way will be made. But if you just join at once and you feel like, in a year, I need to make this or I stop, then you are shortchanging yourself. You are making a big mistake. You did not have plan in the first place. You just wanted, because you think others are making it, it's so easy to make, and then you just join the wagon. But it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. So you need consistency. You need to be committed in whatever you are doing and be consistent in it. And then hold on. Be patient. Hold on. Hold on. While you work, while you prepare the grounds, while you still open your eyes to learn what is to be learned about that business, be patient, be patient, be patient, be patient. And then one day a way will be made. Good evening, Steve. You're welcome. Thank you so much. Be patient, and then one day the breakthrough will come. But like we saw in during renewal, when you are resting, the resting period is not just to, hold fold your hands, do nothing. It's the period that you actually work on yourself. It's the period that you become more consistent in the things that you need to do so that you'll be able to achieve the goals that you have set before you. So learn to be consistent in some areas. It's not everything that has to be fast, fast. I mean, time is moving, yes, but time works for those that have understood, that have understanding about time, that have understanding the principles built in time. If you have that understanding and you use them to your own benefit, I mean, you use them wisely, it will at the end benefit you. You have to be patient and consistent. You don't just start, bam, and expect um all this social media lifestyle, like I just started and see me with this big car that they have actually gone to borrow, rent, not theirs, and you are there thinking, oh my goodness, they've made it, they've, you know let's not fall for that. If you want anything that lasts, you must be willing to also pay the price for it. Pay the price of learning, pay the price of being committed, pay the price of being consistent and patient. Pay the price for it. Then it will last. If not, as fast as it came, that is also how it will disappear. So be willing to pay that price. Another attribute of dependability or a dependable person is a person that dares to show him or herself vulnerable. Is a person that dares to show him or herself vulnerable. Is my music loud? Now I'm hearing that my music is still on. Is the music loud? Is it disturbing you guys? Okay, let me. So sorry. Now I realize that it's still on. I put it on at the beginning. All right. So we need to, pay the price. Now, another attribute that is so, so important, but we sometimes think like, oh no, no, you shouldn't vent there, you shouldn't go there, is vulnerability. In our in most cultures, you are praised for showing strength, like, yes, you need to be strong and you need to you cannot show any weakness. You shouldn't show sign of weakness. But it's as if you are in a constant battle, which can be true in some areas, but when it comes to building relationship, or when it comes to you yourself building yourself up, you must this is a requirement. You must show yourself vulnerable. Some weeks ago, I think, yeah, some months ago, I dealt with the topic of brokenness. And that's what it is. You must be willing to be broken. Good evening, Chichi. You're welcome. You're welcome. God bless you. All right. Thank you so much for the feedback on the music. I've putting it off anyways. Um, so you must be broken. And being broken does not mean that you are weak. It's not a sign of weakness. It's different from someone that is always needy. Those are people that have like low self-esteem, that always want to be confirmed in their feelings, or want assurance one way or the other, that fear rejection, those kind of things. That's not the kind of vulnerability that I'm talking about. Now, being vulnerable is, for example, admitting that you are not perfect. Thank you, Chichi. Being vulnerable is admitting that you are not perfect and that you can also make mistakes. As a mother, you admit to your children, oh, I made a mistake here, I'm so sorry. um, it doesn't cost you anything, but it teaches them that they can they can rely on you. You know, one thing we forget is when you project yourself out there that you are so strong and um nothing can harm you or hurt you, or you don't even want to show any sign of like any emotion is that you show is a sign of a weakness, or it makes you people stay away from you. It makes you kind of like unapproachable, because you paint this perfect image out there while inwardly you are actually crushing. You are dying. You are who inwardly the battle going on inward is killing you. But due to whatever reason that you feel like to everyone, even including to yourself, you shouldn't and mustn't show any weakness. That is actually, it kills faster than any disease. It kills faster. That's where we get high blood pressure and stuff like that from. But showing yourself vulnerable teaches the others around you that you are human. You can be hurt. And so they also, in their relationship with you, will be careful in a way. They will realize, oh no, this our boss is human. Or this my husband has, there are things we do, we think, no, if I let them know, no, they will not respect me. Sir, ma, there is a level of um humanity that if you show, you actually gain more respect. It's only the unwise that will see it as a sign of weakness. For someone to really know they can depend on you, they must also know that in their emotional needs, in those areas that they are weak, you are empathetic. You have empathy for them. Showing empathy is also showing yourself vulnerable, is opening yourself up and letting them, hey, I understand. It doesn't cost you anything, and no one should even think of taking advantage of it. It tells more about them than about you. But you can be more trusted if at least there is a level of empathy that can be seen in you. If there is a level of that someone can relate something with you and be like, oh, I see. Okay, this person also, oh, okay, they went through it, or they are dealing with some issues, or, you know, after all, they're all humans. That alone makes you gain so much respect from people around you. Again, except from the unwise. Now we the Bible talks about the foolish, the simple minded. We have different kinds of words that they are called, those that are unwise. And we are not talking about them. And so you should also not rely or depend or be in any way hurt by such people, because they have no idea what it takes. Excuse me. They have no idea what it takes to show yourself vulnerable. It takes a lot. Now, when I was dealing with brokenness, I said, sometimes because we have this will given to us as a gift, it's so difficult to tame it. It's so difficult to put it in check. It's so difficult to like say, okay, I admit I can't always get my way. And that's what it is. Admitting that you actually cannot do it all by yourself is showing yourself vulnerable. But that's the truth. We can't do it all by ourselves. And so you need to show yourself vulnerable. Now, showing yourself vulnerable does not mean being so naive. It doesn't mean being a doormat. It doesn't mean, being also so emotional. It can put people off. That's not what I'm talking about. Don't be needy and crying, and it put it that one will honestly just put people off. Like, oh, even when something is serious, they'll be like, leave that one, a cry baby, or you know don't take that one serious. It's every time one thing or the other. It's not being someone that complains, because then people also want to run away from you. No, showing yourself or being vulnerable, simply put, admitting you are but human and you don't have it all and you need others. Admitting we can do it all alone. Those are, when those just that alone is enough, because there is a way you handle things with that knowledge and with that openness about yourself, saying, I can't do it all by myself. That alone will help you not to just, give in to A, B, and C because you can't do it all. Use wisdom when it comes to showing yourself vulnerable. Because as I'm speaking, I know some people are there and like, oh mama, I this woman don't know what she's talking about. It's not everyone you can trust. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's not everyone you can trust, and it's also not everywhere you must display anyhow this feeling or emotion or whatsoever. It's not anyone that you can just open up with your whole life story. It shouldn't be so. Again, understand what I mean here with showing yourself vulnerable. I do not say go and open up and tell your whole life story to A, B, and Z because you want something. That is asking for pity. That is asking for pity, and that is not what we are dealing with. That is not what we are talking about. You must, for there is a saying that, if you need help and you show yourself, I'm strong, I can do it. Um, when is that help going to come? That help is not going to come, right? So you must find a way to relate or to communicate your need of help. That doesn't mean that you have to go and be nagging and be crying and so forth and so forth. No. And you must be specific in the area that you need help so that the person or whomever that you are relating this to will also know how he or she can be of help. Another way of displaying your vulnerability, like I said, is simple. It's just in your attitude, in your character, in everything that you do, making sure that you also communicate that, hey, I know I'm not perfect. So if I've made mistake there, please forgive me. Not dragging things, not being boastful over things, in your character, in the way that you act, showing that I'm sorry, I made a mistake there, or I need help with this. Can you help me with that? That's just it. That's what I mean with being vulnerable, showing yourself vulnerable. But please, please, please be careful what you put out there to whomever you want to attract pity from. Be careful. That is not the kind of vulnerability that we are dealing with here. When we talk about brokenness, that is not the kind of brokenness that we are dealing with here. It is the type that just simply admitting, I can't do it by myself. I am but human. Lord, help me. Help me with the right people so that we can all do it together, because we can't do it all by ourselves. Imagine you are starting a business and you think by yourself you can get the necessary connection, or you can, contact A, B, and Z, and all by yourself you can do it. Now, there is a word contact. So you need to contact someone. That means you need someone, you need something, you need that alone is just the admission that I need people. I need people. I need them in the areas that I'm weak, in the areas that, I'm not that strong. That is what we are there for. We are supposed to help each other. In my dialect, we have something that we call, and pardon me, I'm going to speak Tree. Benkum dware nifa, ena nifa nso dware den benkum. We say the left bath the right and the right bath the left. We don't have a know it all. And so if A has something that you don't have, but you have something that you show yourself at that area vulnerable, that I need this, I don't have it. Can you help me? That's what I'm talking about. So please let them misunderstand it and go and start sharing our world, our life story with all, because trust is the foundation of a relationship. But if you are not yet in any relationship whatsoever, you should not expect the person to be trustworthy. Trust is when you know you are entering, or you are building something up with someone, whether work, whether marital, whatsoever situation. And then okay, to which level you start testing the ground, to which level I can trust this person. But out of the blue, with no one, you just share your stories anyhow. Don't be surprised, because yes, people are people, and even those ones that you know so well can still turn to hurt you. That's that's something that we cannot guarantee. Unfortunately, we can't guarantee that. You can't guarantee that with anyone. It's a risk that you have to be willing to take to some certain level. All right. I hope I've established that very well. And I think we all know it very well. But life is a risk in everything that we are doing. It's a risk. And sometimes you really need to calculate the risk and know to which level I can depend on this person. And that's what, when we are talking about dependability, if you calculate the risk, you already have it at the back of your mind that, okay, something can go wrong. This person can, turn against me. But it's a risk that you still need to take. Why? Because you need that person for whatever thing that you need that person for. So it's a risk that you need to take. So you've calculated it, and if that happens, it will not actually hurt you that bad, because you already prepared your mind beforehand. You know it's going to happen or might happen. You don't know. It's something that you calculated, like you put it into perspective and then went in for it. That is, I think, the best way to deal with issues, and especially with people, when it comes to how far you can depend on someone or rely on someone. Again, how far you can show yourself vulnerable to someone. You must be willing and ready to what? Calculate it. And that brings us to our next attribute: loyalty. Loyalty is so vast. Loyalty itself is also very deep. But all of it, everything that we have dealt with so far, and in loyalty, everything that we've dealt with so far, you cannot be loyal to something you don't trust. You cannot be loyal to something you're not committed to. You cannot be loyal to something you haven't invested emotionally. So you have not show yourself vulnerable around. You can't be loyal to that. So all of it boils down to loyalty. And whatever and whenever, whatever you are not loyal to, also don't expect someone to be loyal in those areas. If you are not loyal, don't expect someone to be loyal. Now, loyalty does not mean that there will not be disagreements. That's sometimes we get it so wrong. We get it so wrong when it comes to loyalty. We think, oh, there is disagreement, so or this person is talking too much, or um is not buying my idea. Therefore, the person is not loyal to me. No, 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 no. Don't make that mistake. Instead, take time, listen. What is this person saying? I'm going to take the example of, when I was a director, and sometimes during meetings, you have people, and there was just this one set of group, or let me say, one group that will always kind of like be against the ideas that we are bringing. And at the beginning, I realized, at the beginning, I was kind of like angry. I was like, why are they kind of, we're supposed to be one team? But gradually, I realized that most of it, if you pay attention to what maybe the examples they were giving, or the arguments they were putting on the table, it was not against. It was not against at all. It was actually kind of like opening your eyes to, yeah, the other things. They were just critical because they wanted it to be so good, so well. So they were just being critical. And so they were asking questions like, okay, have you thought about it? Or why, what makes you think that this will work? And when I started paying attention to that, I realized that actually this person, and there was one person in particular, this person is not against. There are other ones that you would just know by how they are going about things. You will know. But it was in that group, but there was still one that I could identify and realize that actually this person is so loyal to make sure that everything is going on well. And because of that, the person wants like every loophole covered. Okay, um, have you thought about this? And why are you using this? It makes me, before I present a case, or before I present anything, you already kind of like go through your mind, go try to cover all those questions that might come up. And that person was preparing us as organization for the outside, so that you'll be able to defend that which you are bringing out. So if you are if you pass that grill, internal grill, and you are able to defend every of those questions, you come out stronger. You come out with it, you're going to defend it, because you need funds, because you will come out stronger, because they've already been an internal grill, and it was not out of disloyal, it was actually out of loyalty. Like I said, there were other voices, and those ones you could really see that, okay, this one is really, it's just everything path. No. When someone is just everything no, without any reason, just count them out. But when someone is trying to point some things out to you, and because you have this view, you think, oh no, no, it's just this, but they are trying to point out something like, but have you maybe considered the other side, or have you looked at it from that perspective, or why actually? Just simply why do you want it? And you feel or see that as an attack, then there is an issue. Then there is an issue, because there is a problem if everyone just say yes without thinking. Why are we saying yes? If everyone just agree to everything and anything, you have a problem. If it is an organization, I can guarantee you it will go down. If it is friendship, those people are just around you because they are either for something that they are gaining from you, but it is not out of love. They are not loyal to you. The one that can tell you the truth, that can point out your mistakes, that can say, hey, not that way, maybe check this way, try to correct you. That one is more loyal to you than the one that will just look at you and just smile and say, yeah, yes, yes, come on, let's go, and still go with you on the wrong path, knowing very well that that path is wrong. Let's be careful and let's not take some, when we receive constructive criticism, we see it as that person does not like me. No. Or this person is not loyal to me because they are against my ideas. No. Okay, why? What is it? Sit down and discuss. When you sit down, like I started doing and asking more questions, you come to know that, okay, it's not that the person is against. This person just wants it like all covered. At the end of the day, it's for self gain, obvious in the case of that person, because he has to go and defend it to the to his loyal people also as well. So he wanted to be sure, like, is everything covered? If I go there and talk to my people, like, okay, this is the agreement we are going forward with, or I need to be sure that every side is covered. And so he was asking questions, demanding some certain things that if you're not careful, you think this person is against. But he wasn't. So loyalty is not the absence of disagreement. Loyalty is not the absence of disagreement, but in that disagreement, what is being said? What is actually the message that is being passed? And how can we move from that to agreement? Make it work for all so that we can move forward. Let's not misunderstand loyalty. Because some people think, oh, if you're loyal to me, you just have to accept everything and anything that I say. I'm sorry, that is a wrong approach. Having said that, it's a different case, like the example of the others, if they are actually against the vision. If they're against everything you are doing, they're against the vision of whatever you stand for, then you have a problem. There is where then, like, you need to check and start cutting them off. Because if you disagree on the very foundation that both of you, that whatever relationship is built on, if you disagree on the very foundation, the vision of it, what is there to work on? But if you have one vision, if the vision is one, but how to go about it is where you disagree, there is actually there no problem of disloyal, someone being disloyal. No, because they agree to the vision. The vision is one. They want the same thing that you want. They are with you. The only thing that they are not is maybe your approach, how you want to go about it, what you want to do to get it. And so they will speak out. They'll speak out and say, look, this road, this way you're going, that's not the right way. You should not count that as disloyal. You should count that actually, this is love. Love corrects. This is love. You're welcome, Lydia. Good evening. No problem. This is love. It's out of love. And therefore, this person is so loyal to you. They want to see you succeed. They don't want you to go the wrong path. They don't want you to take the wrong decisions. And so sometimes, yes, they will be hard. They will be hard on you, try to prune you all, if they don't do that, you become soft. If they don't do that, you become weak. If they don't do that, you become what? You go the wrong way. You go the wrong way. So let's not confuse loyalty with blind followership, or just blindly agreeing to everything that you say. That is not what loyalty is. That is not what loyalty is. So once you know that this person is loyal to me, you have a dependable person. You have someone that in all round you can depend on. Come rain, come shine, come whatever, they are with you. Only they will not agree to some certain things, which is normal. Learn to listen. Why? What is the advice they are giving? How do they want, to see, or to go about it? Is it completely different to who you actually are? Then you know that it's those people are not really out for you. But if it is, know that they are very loyal. They are very loyal. I had a very there was one person at my workplace that I thought, like, this person really hates me because everything. But at the end of the day, I realized that this is not the same guy I was talking about. This is a different person. Because he also could be very strict. Every proposal is just watching it like, yeah, and so what should I, it was sometimes I was like, I don't think this person likes me so much, until I summoned the courage and said, okay, you know what, come, let's sit down, let's talk. I have a feeling, I don't know. That's why I want to come and, place it here and see, because I feel like there is something not right. Am I doing something wrong? Is there something? Do you think that I'm not the right person for the job? And I was surprised at what he said. He said, "No, you are, but I just want you to be on your, how did he put it? It's like, I just want you to be on your sharp, at your sharpest all the time, because this is a function that you cannot afford to relax. You cannot afford to allow also here, talk, and always trying to please people, is trying to please everyone. Because if you try to please everyone, you stretch things, and at the end of the day we might end up getting nothing. So there are situations that I just want you to be on your toes and realize, okay, I this is, at the end of the day, this is the best thing for the organization. If that is the best for the organization, the rest must follow. The rest must follow. But if you're looking at the faces and feelings and whatsoever of people, you will miss it. And so that's why I just want you to, and that's why I first kind of like disagree, to see your reaction, to see how are you going to take it. Are you going to be like, oh, this person, are you going to do things just to please me? Or are you still going to defend, knowing very well what you have brought to the table is the right thing? So when he said that, and the reason why he said that afterwards is that he has noticed that I actually put the organization first. Meaning whatever, not that the people don't matter, but everything, because the people is what matters in the organization. We are working with people. So if I say I put the organization first, automatically I also put the people first, but not the opinions of people. Because if you are going to put the opinions of people first, you will not work. Everyone is different. Everyone wants different things. But if it is for the whole organization, the best for the whole organization, at the end of the day, it is the best for the people. But if you first ask, and first of all, I'll ask, okay, we'll do a mini like a research enquete. What do you want? What do you think about this? And everyone will bring their ideas, their opinions, and then if one-on-one discussion, like, okay, and why do you think so? And if you are not careful and you go along with the feelings of people are just seeing things from their point of view. But as a director, I'm supposed to see from the point of view of the organization. And then in a later stage, try to, you know, incorporate all the other. But first of all, you have the view of the overall view. The overall view. The administrative is seen from administrative perspective. The accountant is seen from the accountant perspective. It's so bam bam. Everyone is seen from their own island. And so, if you are not careful and you just focus on the administrative because they are the closest, you miss it. If you are not careful and you think, oh, those on the field, you will also miss it. So, at the end of the day, what is the best for everyone, especially, in the totality of the organization? And that is what he wanted to see. So he was pruning every time to see if I will sway, if I will, go and, or I will not see what he was trying to do and think. That's what he said. I've actually seen that most of the things, yeah, sometimes we need to go back and rethink, but you have the organization in mind. And that's what I want to see. I was like, okay. Okay. It's not from a place of dislike or, just being difficult, but it was because he wanted to be sure that I am not, people pleasing, because I have heart for people. And so what I do is I will always incorporate and try to move from the perspective of, but when it comes to, like, you can't pick individual interests. No, it will kill. It kills the organization. And so preferences and all that was one thing that I was like, I should be, I should not become Saul, people pleaser, and then forget the main thing and lose it at the end of the day. So that was like his role there, was just like to make sure that I don't become Saul. That was what he was trying to do. And I was so grateful having that, that open conversation with him and realizing that, okay, actually, he's with me. He's with me. He just wants to be sure that I am not a people pleaser, that I'm not doing things to just please people, but that, it's in the right direction. So be very careful when you think someone is pruning you, they're against you. When someone is kind of like a bit hard on you, gives you, some constructive criticism. Sometimes the way they say things, might not always be the right way, but still, in your wisdom, sit back and have a rethink. Or if you're bold enough and they are approachable, approach them and ask, talk, on a very nice level, different level with them, so that they will explain some things. People that are honest and want the best for you that's where the vulnerability is, will explain things to you, why they are saying this, or why they did that, or why they took that action. That's vulnerability that they are showing there to help you. All right, I've taken more than our time, but I wanted to drive this home. Um, we should not mistaken loyalty with disloyal people. It's not. It's not. It comes in different ways. People are who they are, and so if you already know in which area you can rely and depend on some people, and then as you get to know them better, you realize, okay, this is how this person speak. This is how this person shows love, and then it's up to you to filter through it and take what is the best for you. But please don't make the mistake of hanging around people that are poisonous, thinking they are loyal to you. Don't do that. Don't think that everyone, because they are always agreeing with you, laughing with you, that they actually love you or are loyal to you. They might be there for what they want to get or what they are getting. But when it comes to being dependable or whatsoever, they are not with you. So dependability has a lot of attributes. And I pray that we all can, we can look within ourselves and ask the question, are we dependable? Can someone depend on us? Yes, my dear. Not all that glitter is gold. Let's be careful. But it says also, take also the time to examine yourself. Are you dependable? Can someone trust you, and to which level? Are you loyal? And how do you show that loyalty? All right. Thank you all so, so, so much. God bless you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for tuning. God bless you. And I hope you've been blessed. And I hope to see you all next week by the special grace of God. Have a good night.